Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Mobius Front 83, where we are in Bug City. Actually, I guess this mission we're probably not in Bug City, right? Because we're on this side of the line. This is the friendly side. But that doesn't lower the stakes any. There's a programming minigame on the line here. We gotta take this seriously.
Check it out. Those guys are from the 2nd Armored. Oh shit, an Abrams.
Even Thomas Grail can tell which units are important in the game and which ones aren't.
Finally. That's gonna be a big help.
Yeah, unless they have the same thing.
Grail, you need to learn to stop thinking. Thinking never suits an infantryman. Isn't that right, Sergeant?
Y'all need to shut the fuck up.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty straightforward. Alright, so we got one of these command center things again, the command post, which... it's weird that it's a command post vehicle, but it has, like, no effect on the battlefield whatsoever. It's very strange choice. Alright, so this is one of those classic control point battle type maps, and I was not paying enough attention to how many units the enemy deployed. I'm gonna guess it's in the neighborhood of 10 points. That's my feeling. Am I allowed to... No, you're deployed already. I can move you this turn, but you are already out. Alright, what do I have access to? Get access to an Abrams, which is an even better tank. It's an even more tanky tank. It actually has exactly the same weapons on it, but 3 armor. 3 armor is very serious. That's tough to deal with. We also have... Are you new? Is this a new version of that? It's an improved vehicle. Yeah, right? 4 ammo. I think this one's better than the ones we used to have. So you don't have a lot of points to play with here. I'm a little reluctant to use the howitzer because of the fact that it's hard to pay 2 points for something that literally cannot damage an armored unit under any circumstances. At least when you buy like a helicopter or something, you have dudes with anti-tank rockets. I do think we want one of these, though. This seems like a good way to shoot at enemy tanks, and I do love to shoot at enemy tanks. I don't know if I've made that clear. Probably want you to deploy a little bit further south. And then, like... We have an odd number of points, so we're going to end up buying... The question is, should I now buy 2 APCs and just one 1-point unit? Or should I buy a couple of these to help hunt helicopters while we wait for my tanks to show up? We should probably, at the very beginning here, at least for the purposes of providing pressure, we should probably have at least 1 APC. And then the question is, like, right now, at this moment, is forward vision more valuable than setting up, like, a really awkward field of anti-tank weaponry that it's hard for the enemy to drive into? These things can shoot helicopters, but they can't move and shoot helicopters. This has that M60 on it, which is very hard to use. I think I'm actually pretty torn. I'm actually very torn. I think let's maybe go for one of each of these with the last 2 points. It's like my only real concern here is that right now we're pretty soft against helicopters. Yeah, the machine gun on this thing can't even hit air units. So... I mean, they're probably not going to have the helicopters with the missiles on them, though, right? Yet, anyway. I'm gonna take another APC. I'm a little nervous about this, but let's try it this way. And... presuming that the enemies on this one had to come in from the right side of the field, this should be perfectly safe to do, right? Let's get a little bit of vision going over here. So we're going to be behind for a while. Do I want to deploy... Like, how do we want to cap this? Because we do want to cap this. Let's see, they started on control of that. So next turn, they might have guys like... Probably it's safe for us to peek through here on our next turn, right? Probably. So you have 6 range when you're set up. I mean, it feels like this tile is going to be a pretty good one. I think that's a shame. Maybe we'll just set up right here. Have one of you roll. I'm really torn on whether we want to just deploy an infantry unit down here and have it just be out of combat for a long time, or whether we want to have this APC pick this up while this APC threatens that one. I'm gonna do this. We'll just have both of us push forward real hard. I would not be terribly surprised to see them have some kind of unit that we're not used to, something we've not seen before. I think that is totally reasonable to suspect. Right, we're in the chapter of the game where they are revealing what the game actually is to us, so this would be the time for something like that. Here, let's roll out, and if it turns out to be too dangerous, we do have the option of throwing down smoke, but it doesn't look like it'll be necessary here. Alright, let's have you move up like this, and you can potentially deploy your anti-tank crew in there. You just try to catch up. I think I like this. So we're expecting them to have probably 10 points worth of units. If each of these trucks... We don't know about these gun trucks. We don't really have anything that's analogous to this. Because obviously it's a better unit than a normal truck, but I still think it's not as good as an APC. So it's tough for me to... I would guess these are 1-point units, probably. So probably we're expecting to see a lot of stuff coming in behind them. We gotta get set up. Okay, real tanks. That's rough. They got some mortars. And are you a new kind of anti-tank guy? Oh, okay. You have a 2-range machine gun. Interesting. And you can fire after moving. That is a way better infantry dude. The degree to which that dude is better is it's like really impressive, actually. Alright. Throw these guys out here, and we're going to have to hope a little bit on this one, I think. You guys need to get out, because I am likely to die. What do I do with you? I probably just run you forward. So they can't actually claim the point. One thing we could do here is just fall back, and if they wanna come forward, we can just blow them up. Unfortunately, as is always the case, our anti-tank unit is going to be countered pretty hard by these tanks. I'm actually really concerned about that, because they're going to be able to drive 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. They have 4 range on that, right? Okay, so they can only shoot us with one of their weapons, but because the anti-tank unit only has 4 HP, it could get one shot. This is tough. Like, the lack of any kind of, like, overwatch or ability to respond to people moving in on you makes defense against tanks very, very... I was going to say tricky, but let's be honest, unlikely. It makes it unlikely that you will successfully defend against a tank. I think we do just kind of have to fall back. I think we're pretty doomed if we stay up. We fall back, we defend our little dudes here. I am thinking we're probably going to disembark this rifle team just to make it a little bit more awkward for the enemy to push us. This is tough, though. If we disembark them forward to make it more awkward for the tanks to drive up and machine gun these guys in the woods, these dudes just get torn apart by those gun trucks anyway. And if we deploy backward, we're not actually exerting any pressure due to the fact that we can't move and fire in the same turn. Right, they roll up, kill our dude, and then the best thing we could do is move forward into those trees, and then they just move away. So I'm actually not sure what we could do that would matter here. I'm going to have you fall back to there. There's a chance that we won't die if I put these guys down here. I'm going to do this and then back up. Let's back it up to, like, here, like a position that's real awkward for them to shoot at us from. And then we'll just hope that they do something stupid. I think, for the most part, when dealing with enemy tanks, your only play is hope that they do something stupid, or that you have more tanks in the local area than they do. And command post vehicle... fall back to here and employ the smoke discharger, perhaps? So maybe draw some of the tanks up this way while we try to wait for reinforcements. I'm gonna do it. If they want to come up here and shoot at me, I'm here to be shot at. If this tank rolls in and heat rounds my my dude, I'm gonna be sad. Okay, interesting. We don't see them actually employ their smoke very often, so that's kind of neat. Yeah, the infinite range artillery is rough. So we have you guys up here so that you can pose some kind of threat. You guys are dead no matter what, so let's set you up and hopefully we can get something out of doing so. It is now impossible to kill this thing, and in fact, it's not even likely that we'll deal damage anymore, right? Yeah, because I would have to roll a 5. So, like, there's a serious question of whether it even makes sense to fire, given the limited ammo. The answer may well be that it does not, honestly. Well, I'm giving them one of the absolute cleanest groupings to fire artillery into that anyone has ever had. I'm hoping... Man, I wish I could remember. I think the howitzer has only 1 damage on its machine gun, so I think we can roll this thing over and then just try to roll 2s against that thing all day, and it can't penetrate our armor. I mean, all day. Until they move anything at all into position, right? So, at this point, they can now attack us with both of those tanks. They can roll both of the tanks forward and shoot at us. And we can't do anything. If we back up... Yeah, if we back up, they're just going to... It's going to be impossible to redeploy this thing. We will never be able to fire this weapon if we back up. Because anytime we take the moment to do the setup, they instantly kill it. So... Yeah, we just don't... The smoke dispenser... Soft... So, there's a difference between a soft counter and a hard counter. I would describe this as a firm counter. It's not hard, but it's definitely... It's pretty hard. It's real bad. Alright, I'm just gonna fire then. Okay, we got super lucky there and hit maximum damage. Because the odds are this thing's never going to get to fire again. The odds are pretty solid whether we leave it in place or whether we move it away, it's never going to get to fire again. In which case, the ammo concern is a little bit academic, right? And then they have one more shot. Oh no, they don't. That's right. I did. Hitting for maximum damage means that thing can't move. That's true. I did actually accomplish something there. And then we get lucky again, which it's hard to be upset about. And then we have to kill this thing, but we can't really do it right now. And the fact that this thing's alive makes this move forward unsafe, which is a shame, because it's a move I really want to make. Boy, I sure wish that that we had better line of sight there. That's a very effective blocking play on their part. That was smart. So... Boy, this would have been a real nightmare if we had not rolled maximum damage there, if we had not gotten just, like, absurdly lucky. You're not really in a huge amount of danger. I think, to be perfectly honest, I'm just going to reload the smoke discharger. And then it's like, do we approach the anti-tank missile team? Do we just push them? Or what's the right move here? And I think you guys move forward to here. That's pretty obvious. We don't really want to move the APC forward until that tank is dealt with. So I think we do this, not because it menaces these guys, but because we have to kill this tank. We could just wait until next turn and let this guy do it. But my problem with that is that, again, we have limited ammo. So, couple of lines of play here available. We could have this infantry team step up here. Probably these tank guys the tank just shoots here for self-preservation. These guys will also take damage from the assault team, but after that happens, we get this kill. These guys still have 2 health left. We get to start harassing these dudes unless they run away, which is great news for us because we don't want them to take up a forward position like this. And then we could like relocate this guy or something if we want. Or we have this team move forward, menace these dudes, who are a little bit more dangerous than most infantry on account of they can actually like interact with combat. And we totally do rely on this thing to finish the job, which is not even guaranteed to do. Honestly, I don't know which one of those is the right. I do think that these guys kind of have to die, but we have so many ways of dealing with this unit. I'm gonna menace the tank. We're gonna try to save anti-tank ammo. I'm gonna creep you forward because I'd like to set you up here if we can. And I think you might just stay put. This makes it really awkward for this guy to drive forward, right? You can roll up a little bit, but do not expose yourself to the tank just yet. And let's get some reinforcements in here, shall we? So wait, what do you have exactly the same guns as the other tank. Okay, fine by me. And then with an additional 2 points, I mean, if we're worried about them actually having infantry that's interesting and potentially useful, we could pull in a howitzer. Or we could just bring in more infantry of our own and solve the problem that way. They're definitely superior to my infantry, but my infantry is going to have some great big tank backup. We don't know if they have access to this kind of thing yet. Worth noting, even though this is like the new, more terrifying tank and it costs even more points than a normal tank, still potentially can be killed in a single hit by a stationary heat round. So, gosh, I hate the randomness on the tank damage in this game. I dislike it so much. I think let's bring in the helicopter. Yeah, now that we're in the part of the mission where we're actually going to be trying to move forward, I think we gotta get some advanced information about enemy positions. And unfortunately, this helicopter can't really go very far safely. I think that's okay. I think that's an acceptable outcome. So, we've never had this. Oh, that's a shame. He did roll max damage. Yep, of course, because he has to roll max damage, otherwise he can't prevent me from hitting him. Alright, well, so now we have a question. Do we want to spend this ammo, or do we want to... Man, that's tough, actually. Alright, you're going to creep up, we know that. We can do the stuff that we know we're going to do. We got them to just dislodge their infantry, which is fine. You are now in danger. I really wish you could drive and then shoot. That'd be so nice. I think I'm gonna do this. Speed 4. I didn't even notice that the Abrams tank is so fast. That's actually really nice. Alright. That's excellent news. So you do just roll up. I want to set up further forward, but we'll stop here for right now. And I think we'll just rifle you guys. Come up here to support, so that them moving down like that is not a super dangerous thing. Wow, that's... Yeah, I guess it's got line of sight right along the edge of the hex. That's annoying. I think I'd rather move you down here and potentially support that way. Move you up. And then we could have the helicopter. I think I'm just going to land the helicopter. And we're going to drop some infantry out right here. I'm going to keep these guys on board for the moment. And you're just going to stay right here and draw fire. And like, This vehicle we don't care about at all, right? So as long as it's annoying the enemies a little bit, it's doing a fine job. All right, 4 turns until I get the rest of my reinforcements, but we got to expect that we're going to see some heavy stuff from the enemies showing up, like this turn or next turn at the very latest. Things look good on the front right now, but they're not going to keep looking good. It makes me very nervous that we did not see whatever it is they're going to do over here. I was very much expecting to. Alright, let's test. So here's the thing that we've never really had an opportunity to have to know before. Never had an opportunity to even find out. On a mission like this, where we have a cap for a unit, we were able to get up to 2 Abrams. If I play really aggressively with them and I lose one before Phase 3, will I be able to buy another one? Is it a recruitment cap of 2, or is it that I can only have 2 at any one time? I don't think that we're actually going to find out here. I don't think that we need to play aggressively enough to find this out. But it is an interesting question, I think. Alright, so you guys close up. Hey, look, it's more dudes. Well, that's not great. How do I want to handle that? Obviously, moving these guys forward right now is a little not ideal. Yeah, not sure. Not sure what I want to do with that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to roll you guys back here. Let's saddle you up. And then, now that we've got control of this position, what I really want is for this guy to set up, like, hereabouts. Right? We want to have vision sort of to the edges of the woods. But this may have to do. This may have to be good enough. So I think I'm going to have you not move, and if that's the case, there's absolutely no reason not to set up. And then you... I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to commit real deep here. Let's find out. Okay, what we discovered is there are 2 full tanks. One of them is carrying one of those assault teams, and the other one is going to shoot my ass out of the sky. Well... we found out, man. We found something out. So, in theory, the anti-tank dude that I'm carrying is an actual threat here, and they do have to respond to it. And the vision that we have now is valuable, for sure. I'm going to get aggressive with our command center. Okay, there's a jeep of some description over there. Damn your move and shoot. Yeah, units with move and shoot are like the degree of that being better is quite insane. That unit is dozens of times more effective than than normal infantry. All right, well, first of all, I don't think they should have done this. That seems questionable. Now we actually have an interesting question of how to allocate our gun resources here. I think we're just going to finish this guy off rather than finishing off the weapons team, since we don't need to move the APC forward anymore. And then you get to heat that guy, and then we get to heat that guy a second time. Please let this actually do some damage. Okay, no sail. I mean, yeah, set it up. That's kind of remarkable, though. Two heat rounds doing a total of 1 damage. Alright, I'm gonna land, and I'm gonna drop off the anti-armor team here, and this is gonna keep the attention of a couple of vehicles while we continue working this noise out. Let's load up another team in there. I think I want to threaten to drop off more bodies in these woods. Alright, what manner of jeep are you? You have a laser weapon. Wow, okay. Temporary blinding. Range 6 hits everything. And you have my radio computer. Okay, I need that very badly. The good news is, that dude parked on the control point. It's going to be hard to miss. I think I don't... Yeah, we don't deploy the smoke. So I wonder, can a blinded unit shoot if other people are spotting for it? Or does the the blinding might be just to deny vision. But it might also incapacitate the unit. Okay, managed to get me for a lot there. Come on now. Alright, so this tank's invincible. Sure wish I had vehicles like this. Alright, well, we got control of these woods all of a sudden. They did eventually lose that tank. And now they can't kill us fast enough to prevent us from firing at least once. We might be able to kill the... I mean, we'll try to kill the battle tank before we try to kill the howitzer, obviously. I'm just going to go live on this control point, I guess. Yeah, and then just, like, run forward. Because all of a sudden, it's looking like they may not hold the mission. That said... moving this guy forward past the tanks does diminish the effectiveness of our setup here a little bit. Maybe, if I can't make it to the point anyway, let's move to here. From here I can still hit the point next turn. Yeah, that seems reasonable. We're about to get 5 more points of reinforcements. Okay, they have to spend both those units to do that. That's excellent news for us. So what am I allowed to bring in now? Okay, all the same stuff. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I mean, there's no reason not to put you in here before we do whatever we're going to do. Yeah, this is probably right. And then... how do we want to handle this? We gotta clear out some of these weapons teams. Having lost our second tank really sucks. I mean, we do not in fact have to clear out some of these weapons teams. I can just go around here, it's fine. So just roll forward as far as possible then, I guess? Yeah, because the way things are going now, I suspect this range is not going to be helpful. And is it like... it probably is a helicopter and stuff. We almost certainly want a helicopter because we need to deploy units really far forward. You're not the radio computer team. We don't know where the radio computer... oh no, the radio computer jeep must have been the one I just blew up. I guess I thought they were the other way around. It doesn't say anywhere... yeah. It doesn't say anywhere what my objective completion looks like, which is a shame. Probably like another... APC and I guess this thing? Probably? Probably. It does seem unlikely that those guys are going to get to a place they need to be in, or like to a place where they'll be useful before the mission ends. So I'm going to hold off on the smoke this turn. Since we know that tank is over here, it can't actually be a threat to us this turn, I don't think. You know what? It can probably do a moving... oh no, I miscalculated a little bit. It does not have enough movement to get the heat round off. Let's just go ahead and set you up. How do I want to handle this? I mean, like, obviously I want to drive for this thing. If I deploy the smoke, they can't kill me in one hit. Yeah, that's the right move. Because the tank can reach this point next turn. There's nothing... well, I was about to say there's nothing they can do to stop me. That's definitely not true. That jeep could just land. Or that jeep could just go back on top of it. So here, now there's nothing they can do to stop me, unless that jeep... if the jeep parks here, we shoot it with the tank, then we land the chopper and infantry claim. I think that spending the time to kill the helicopter and then the unit we put down over here cost them the match in a way that's like completely unrecoverable. So tough call, tough go of it for them. Let's just get all these guys out here, get them doing something. That doesn't seem great. I don't actually know what to do with you, honestly. Get over here, I suppose? And you can't do anything. Gosh, I hope that Jeep we killed was the one with the radio computer on it. Okay, tank is blinded. Cool. So, yes, it does disable all of the weaponry. It does not disable movement. And I noticed that the red laser image stayed behind on the space. I kind of wish we could select the tank right now because I'm curious if it's allowed to fire now. If maybe the debuff affects the space, not the unit.
Hey, they got Bradleys too. Fancy little shits.
Wish I was in one of those instead of this fucking thing.
Again, Thomas Grail, the only one who is aware of how good the units are relative to one another.
Shit! Oh, god damn.
You guys are remarkably chill. Like, the fact that that thing got destroyed, anything that can destroy one of those can destroy the thing you're riding in quite easily, so. Alright, show me radio computer. Okay, so we need to produce 2 of the same output here. That's interesting. Okay. So it's pretty easy to produce that signal once. Right, if we just do this, and then we just take the middle line, we've got that thing, right? But there's no way to split it without either permanently losing the left and right channels or amplifying it first and setting the intensity of all of these to the same value, which obviously is no good. But that's fixable if we So what we would need here, like if we were to do the split, what we would need to fix this is just the middle channel off of here. So hold on a second. Let's experiment a little bit, right? Okay. So then I had to move everything over again. I wish we could box select, because I know approximately what I want to do, but I'm not planning ahead enough to, Alright, so then we do a splitter here. There we go. That feeds out. And then... See, this is actually not going to work, though, right? This is going to produce the signal we want once. We can get 2 copies of it. And then we need to go like this. But then we somehow need to connect this to the top, which you can't cross the streams here. So how do I fix that? Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Is there a way where... What if we... Okay, hold on. Let's move everything up 1, which seems like a thing you can only do in a very tedious way, unfortunately. Actually, I'm going to kill these. Hold on a second. So I'm trying to figure out if we can make this solution work without having to rebuild anything by just respacing it. No, the core problem here is that one of these outputs has to connect to one of these outputs, and the other one has to connect to the other, and there's no way to do that without crossing this. Right? Hold on. If we have one of the outputs be in here... See, this almost works. If we had another column, I think this solution works. Right, because we could run this... We might need more than one column. Like this is a functional solution where we connect these out here if we have infinite space. Sadly, space is a concern. So then we have a question of whether we can cut any of the columns out of this design or whether we need a whole new plan. I don't think I can cut anything here. What if we... Because if we were going to cut something, it has to be in the bottom part, right? This is the part where all of the things are happening. What if I didn't take the middle row here? Like we could move that to later in the process. Maybe. Just move everything over and we're just going to play with it. It helps me a lot to play with it. Alright, so if we do this here... Nope, sorry, that's the wrong one. If we do this here... And... here... It's an extra instruction box, but... we have saved ourselves a little bit of space. And then it's just like... Yeah, that's we're still short of a column though, I think, because there's no straight down instruction, right? It can't... Yeah, that's not rotatable. We're so close, man. We're so close. Because it's gonna end up being this, right? And look at that. That's totally it. If we could just make this thing go right there. Okay. So... we do not have the ability to pull another column out of this, do we? Really, I think we need the amplify if we're going to do the split. And then we need this amplify because we do need this split as well. Yeah, so I think what it ends up being is that this solution is just non-functional in the space provided, and we have to come up with a different plan. Okay, that's fine. It's not a clear all button, I don't think, but I will come up with a different plan. This is like a... These segments are a test run for whether I'm going to play any other Zachtronics games on the channel. Alright, if we were to just... like... if we just pull one of the lines from this, and the middle line from this, do a downshift, and then union, we get the thing we're looking for. So we have the problem again of needing to be able to split it. I'm wondering if this is going to end up actually taking less space. Because we're going to have to do that thing again, right? Split you, and then... no, this I think we actually have room for. I think. Hold on. Let's do one of these. There it is. Looks like smooth sailing's over. Field intel reports lots of armor headed our way. So much for these guys being nice, huh? We didn't really get to see the beginning. Also, apparently this is doable with a lot fewer instructions. We didn't really get to see the beginning of the thing. By the time our unit was called up out of the tutorial zone, we were already openly shooting at each other. I wonder if they tried diplomacy first, or if they just showed up with a bunch of tanks and we immediately started firing. I hope we get to find out, honestly. I hope we get some idea what happened. Find and destroy the remaining SAM units protecting Lower Wisconsin. Okay, I'm on it. We are on it. So they're 10-10-5 and we're just 10-10. And this might be one of those situations where their other stuff comes in from behind us, who knows? Alright, so the M2 Bradley contains 2 normal infantry units, is pretty fast, has limited anti-tank gun, but also doesn't have to set up to use it at least. I am a little unsure why you would use this. I mean, it has the 2 infantry units in it, but it's like an extra point of armor is a big deal. It is faster, it's faster than a tank, but it can't fire its anti-tank weapon after moving. 6 range helps alleviate some of the need for that, I suppose. I mean, zero question, we are absolutely bringing 2 tanks. Then the question beyond that is, do we bring a 3rd tank? Or do we need support units enough that that's not a reasonable thing to do? My inclination would be probably that 3rd tank is the right way to go. Observation helicopters are risky to use against an enemy objective that shoots down air units easily. But we also want at least some infantry. I mean, maybe it's just like 3 tanks and a truck full of guys. I do like this. An armored anti-air vehicle is cool. Let's get one of these. And then I think we're going to try it with just 3 tanks. Let's see what happens. The tanks are very good, is the thing. It might be right to have brought more support forces, potentially. Even just for visual purposes. And we have no idea what their force looks like, but the fact that they had a deployment phase instead of just starting the map with a bunch of units on the table suggests to us at least that all of their stuff is actually coming in from the edge of the map, right? Alright, he just gets to join the convoy, as do you. And we're just gonna roll down the road and wait for trouble to strike, I guess. Feels dangerous. Feels like it could be a problem. I don't like the limited vision that we have here. Okay, so there's some guys over there. We can't shoot them. We can drive up real close. We can prepare to shoot them. I do like this thing having 4 range. That feels pretty cool. This is going to be a... It says it's an anti-air unit, but it's going to be pretty good at picking off infantry as well. Yeah, you guys better hide in those trees where you can blow us up easily and we can't fight back. You know, at least they're not stealthy. So, I don't really... We're under a little bit of time pressure in the sense that eventually they will have 5 points more units than we will, but I also think that maybe we can blunt that advantage pretty easily. I don't really know what I want to do, unfortunately. Alright, let's step around the corner here and... Nope. Okay, I was going to say potentially into the ambush. But actually everything's fine? Question marks? I almost want to fire the smoke on this thing, just for, like, maximum safety, because we're so close to them. They've got to be... There's got to be stuff nearby. And they've got to have tanks, right? I'm gonna fire the preemptive smoke. They're doing a lot of running away. Okay, look at me. Look at me thinking ahead. Alright, so do we do this thing? Could be anti-tank teams in the trees down there. Probably not. Okay, that's good to know. Well, we found all their units. Oh, hey, and they have those good helicopters. Oh, and you just barely can't get close enough. That is a shame. Well, we're about to take a lot of damage from those good helicopters. Yeah, having arrived here the turn after they got their Phase 2 deployments, that's pretty bad. That's a pretty bad outcome. Can you... Okay, so there's something. The machine gun on this thing has 4 range, and as such is better at hunting helicopters. So that's a reason you might want to use one of these. That said, I still don't know. Like, I think we do want more VADs. I think this thing's good. But, like, I'm giving serious thought to just buying 3 more tanks. We should probably have some infantry. Then again, we kind of see where all their stuff is, and I'm sort of thinking I'm gonna try going like real deep. I keep saying, wow, it just seems like tanks are better than all of the other options. Let's test it. Let's see exactly to what degree that is true. Is this strategy non-viable? We're gonna find out. So these guys are a problem. That's a problem. But a lot of this other stuff we can kind of avoid and ignore. Real curious what they're going to do with the helicopter. Okay, lucky, lucky. Slightly less lucky, but still not bad. Alright, yeah. So, I mean, we gotta gun those guys down. That's pretty important. Can you hit them from here? That's a shame. It sucks that this guy has clear line of sight to that tile. That hurts us a lot. Excuse me. Excuse me? Bless me? What are you supposed to say when you sneeze? Oh, Miss Manners never prepared me for this. I think I'm going to roll this tank through the southern part here. I mean, I don't really want to give up my position because, obviously, whenever you have the ability to fire heat rounds stationary, that's a very powerful thing. But simultaneously, I don't think we have a lot of choices here, so... Yeah, let's take the... Jesus Christ. Let's take the double tap opportunity here. The second one's much more complicated. Oh, you're just a mortar. I don't care about you. Yeah, that's fine. And this thing just backs up, I think. So this guy, he only has the little rockets. But that's still dangerous. That's still bad. So we can negate that anti-tank infantry unit just by staying far away from it. Wow. Just rolled max damage there, did you? That's a pretty solid strategy. Just roll maximum damage whenever you need to. All right, let's start working on this thing. Although I guess to some extent, like, it's only got so many shots, right? It's not really that important of a target anymore. I don't know how far we want to move that thing forward. I'm gonna be a little careful because we don't exactly know the position of all the anti-tank vehicles down here. But yeah, the fact that my vehicles have 5 health while their tanks only have 4 turns out not to be terribly important. They kind of just get whatever they want most of the time. Now I'm second guessing myself. Do I want to have all of the tanks coming through from the same angle? No, probably not. All right, let's move you around here. Oh, hey, it's a duster. They got one of their things. Okay, well, bad luck. Hopefully they will have similarly bad luck. Actually, was I guaranteed to hit one? Yep, he got his max damage. Yeah, I was guaranteed to do one, so that wasn't even bad luck. That was the only outcome that was possible. Hey, wow. What a surprise, right? Wait a minute, really? Boy, I feel like... I don't think that is commensurate with the way line of sight behaves in other situations. Like, it's clearly traveling not even along the edge of, but rather completely through a tree tile. Like, look, we're clipping through the corner. I'm 100% certain we've seen shots that are identical to this that didn't work this way. So that's really frustrating. Alright, well, anywhere that I move, I'm just going to get shot, so... I guess let's gather up. That helicopter's, out of missiles or down to 1 missile? Okay, yeah, we're dead. They're just not gonna let us have this one. I mean, we have absolutely no reason to push forward anymore. I'm gonna pass the turn one more time because I'm curious. They might be moving in the background. If we can get them to come forward, okay. They won't. If we have to go forward on them, I'm pretty sure this is impossible. And a lot of it does come down to those die rolls. So what I would like to do, yeah, is get rid of this. Was that must have been his last missile, right? Nope, this is a different helicopter. Okay, well, we can handle that. Okay, I really appreciate them making time for me on that one. They still have a huge number of points worth of vehicles that we really cannot interact with at all, unfortunately. So... what we need to do is get our positions set. You may as well harass this guy, there's no reason not to. We need to get our positions set so that 2 of our units can rush down and hit that guy on the same turn. And I'm going to have you get over here. Alright. Because we can totally kill that thing without being in any danger ourselves. We just have to be real careful about it. Yeah, all of the infantry in the world is not going to save them. They need to have vehicles to counter our vehicles. But what they can do is use a large enough complement of anti-artillery teams to put movement pressure on us. It doesn't really matter where you are. These locations are effectively identical. Because they have so many units, they can put enough pressure on us with overlapping fire zones that it can become a problem. Alright, Alright, so you stand here, and you stand here, and together we kill that guy next turn. And you just back it up to here and shoot these guys some more, because it's a bummer for me that they have vision of us. It's causing some problems. Alright, as always, the best counter to every anti-tank thing is a tank. Unfortunately, they have reasserted their vision in this area. I would really like for them not to know where we are, because I think we might be able to bait them into moving forward if they couldn't see us. Okay, pretty good news. Really good news. I mean, that was pretty likely to be the case, right? That's a 60% shot, but we don't always get our 60% shots, so it's okay to be happy about it. I'm a little nervous about stepping forward because we have no idea what all is over here. I'm gonna move you up there. I'm just gonna have you guys fire. I'm gonna have you come around here. Let's try to root out all of the stuff that's going on back here. Again, like you can see, when they lose vision of us a little bit, when they're not 100% sure where we are, they make bad moves. We can win this on an information warfare level, it looks like. Let's move you around to here, make sure this thing has nowhere to go, and then I guess, yeah, have you like over here. We wanna kill those guys, obviously. Hey, look at me rolling max damage. I'm doing it. Okay, seems wise. Seems like a good idea to not be in that place anymore. All right, that guy is super doomed, and they're coming for us. They want me to stop doing the thing I'm doing. Well, they have made that guy not super doomed anymore on account of all of their stuff has infinite range. They sure showed me. This is maybe the right play here is abandon mission and try again and just don't get all your tanks blown up. But you know what? We're in it. We're gonna ride this nickel and dime strategy all the way to the end. I think actually I'm going to shoot at these guys. I care about these guys more than I care about these ones, I think. Yeah, definitely. And I think they've run out of vehicles that can move and shoot at the same time. Like, they have these anti-tank things, but I think that might be it. Well, they still have a helicopter left, but it doesn't have any missiles, we think. Alright, so you back up because you know this guy is here. You, unfortunately, do have to run away. Don't get to quite finish the job there. Oh, well, that was bad. Smoke. He could immobilize us with a single shot, potentially, though. Okay, he did not. So now we have to figure out, like, what is my plan? I guess we don't actually get a play here, right? Yeah, this is a good move on their part for sure. So there's literally nowhere I can go where I'm not going to be in trouble. So the only play we have is roll here, take this shot, and hit the 4. Okay, and now it's pray that he rolls very poorly on his attack, but I mean, the math is pretty bad on that one. Odds are pretty against us. Well, could be worse. But it is bad. It could only barely could it be worse. I guess let's. I mean, we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna kill the tank. Yep, and you can't quite reach the guys you need to reach. They have crafted a position where they are now unassailable. There's nowhere... Oh, no, never mind. We could do this, but we're in a real... We're in a tight spot here. Fingers crossed they make some bad plays because they have a lack of information. Okay, he just doesn't want to get shot. Right, I'm going to potentially sacrifice you to get some more information. Because we got to get into positions where the tank can take some shots, right? Now that we're down to one tank, we're almost certainly dead. There's very, very little chance that this is redeemable. I have to get... It is almost certainly going to be the case that I'm going to have to just roll the moving 4 twice. Otherwise, we will not be able to do the thing. So I'm going to go for it. I'm pretty sure that's 100% the case. We're just going to roll it. We don't get it. Okay, that's the end of the mission. I mean, I'm not gonna concede. I'm gonna make them take it, but... Oh, hey there, anti-tank missile team. Didn't see those guys. We did manage to run them out of ammo, so that'll show them. Let's give that one more... we're already over the hour, but let's give that one more try. Alright, so a little bit more in the way of support units might be a good idea. That said, there's no question that you are running at least 2 tanks out of both of these groups. And then, like, I guess we bring a Bradley... The extra shooting range will actually be valuable. And we probably still do this, I think. We'll try it like this. I'm not convinced that this thing is actually worth bringing, but we're going to try it. I mean, there's definitely some value to the fact that it has kind of a tank gun and also 2 guys, but the fact that it has 2 shots for its tank gun is that's a little rough. I mean, they definitely want to make 100% sure that you feel that your stuff is weaker and worse than the stuff the enemy has. And they're doing a great job of it. I do feel that way. Like, I really, really feel that way. So, we can try to play some line of sight games down here. This is a classic bottleneck situation that's very good for the opponents. This area here is a little bit more neutral, and it definitely plays to our strengths in some ways. The fact that there's a bunch of trees over here for us to get bodies into, to have line of sight and stuff, is certainly going to be helpful. And the fact that there's so many corners and we have more units that can move and shoot is pretty valuable. So where do I want to start unloading infantry? We probably have to take it pretty slow to be safe, but we also can't take it very slow because we will lose, because they will just drop 20 helicopters and tanks on us. So it's a tough one. They have not deployed their new units yet. I'm gonna do this. Okay, this area is safe-ish. In fact, this area is pretty safe. So... it's so hard to know if it's safe to move around this corner. This right here is where you want some infantry. Alright, I'm going to play back. We're going to play it safer, because losing a tank is just devastating. A big part of tanks being the only real unit is that losing a tank hurts a lot. Alright, you get to peek through and discover this dude. And he cannot shoot you. Lovely. What a wonderful day. Now, unfortunately, we're going to be a little bit outnumbered here for the moment. I think we're going to bring in another one of these things just because it's fast. And then for sure, also another tank. And do we want to bring more bodies? This situation is more friendly to anti-tank mortar teams than most situations are, given the way the brush is laid out. But the second we start bringing these guys in, all of a sudden we have to care a lot more about all these weapons teams. And we don't have a vehicle that brings one of these and a lot of bodies. I wish the machine gun on these ones could at least be fired after moving. It's so hard to justify things that are not tanks, man. It's really difficult. So we gotta be able to shoot down the helicopters. We suspect there will probably be at least 2 of those attack helicopters. And then we have the 2 Bradleys, which should be pretty good at that. So we probably don't need to bring any more stuff for that purpose. So basically the question is, do we try to bring in more mortar teams or not? If I do this, I lose a tank. And what do I replace it with? I guess, like, a mortar carrier helps us keep the mortar teams safe, but is completely useless against enemy vehicles, and also can't damage helicopters. I will say, like, I still feel like the game is capital A, capital T about tanks, but it does do a better job here in the second chapter of mixing things up enough that you at least need to have support units for your tanks, which I don't feel is very true in the first chapter. So, I would maybe offer this as another piece of evidence of my theory that maybe they could take the first chapter out of the game and it would be okay. It's super weird to me that, like, if your game's gonna have a premise like survivors from an alien bug-infested Earth invade your Earth, why not open with that? Why put that information 10 missions into the game? That seems like the thing that's cool about the thing you're doing. I'm thinking we're not going to use another tank. I'm thinking let's bring another mortar team in, and then this and the observation helicopter could be useful. It's like observation helicopter versus another mortar carrier, maybe? Because I think we actually have enough. We have enough anti-aircraft guns. The gun on this Jeep can't hit the anti-aircraft at all, so it's just the tanks and the Bradleys. But that's 5 big anti-aircraft guns. Man, maybe that isn't enough. There's only 2 of those helicopters. I'm gonna do this. Perhaps unwisely, this is what I am doing. Wow, no fear. Oh, right, because he's got... yeah. Because they know they will always roll the top half of their damage range, and they've got 2 of them, so... And, like, mathematically, that should be pretty bad for them, right? Because if they roll about the average and do a total of, like, do a 2 and a 3, they actually do 0 damage to a tank. The average result of 2 of them rolling up on one of us is the tank takes 1 damage and then gets to fire back. Mathematically, we should have a huge advantage in that situation, but it never happens that way, I think. Like, to the point where I wonder if they know the results of the rolls ahead of time, and that's why they only fire in situations where they know they've got it. Do you guys really have... oh, yeah, you have a mortar. Sure. Well, that being the case, I guess we gotta... right, their mortar teams make infantry completely useless. Shit. Well... yeah, because we're just gonna get machine gunned down trying to cross. So I can do this safely. Yeah, once again, the fact that they have the same... They have a bunch of vehicles that have the same range as my anti-tank stuff, and I would have to move in on them, makes this thing's cannon pretty hard to use, even in, like, the optimal situation. Take that, mortar team. And then we definitely can't move you forward there. Can't do anything useful with you. But I mean, you probably stay here to give us vision. Yeah, we are not actually going to be able to do very much about these mortar teams. Okay, that's pretty good for us. That's less good. Boy, they sure have a lot of tanks. Yep, okay. Well, good news. We can maybe menace something eventually. Maybe like some year. So yeah, unfortunately, there's not really a good way to take advantage of this more neutral space. Like, this is advantageous for them here, right? Like, if we're at the narrow end of the bottleneck and they're at the wide end, that's hugely advantageous to them, but we can't do anything about it. You can never, you can't push through, and you can't pull them back because they have stationary advantage. Like, they win if nothing happens. The impetus is on the player to move in on them. So, if I move anywhere, these guys get trivially killed. Yeah, these things even have 2 range, so they don't even have to shoot us with the ones in front. They can still roll up on the tank. So you guys just have no value at all outside of being temporary spotters. And actually, it's going to be impossible to leverage mortar teams. It's going to be impossible to leverage these anti-tank missile teams with them having mortar teams. So we'd have to roll in our mortar teams first. So the only play is back up. The only play is everybody backs all the way up. I can deploy you for the moment. Yeah, like, to be perfectly honest with you, the more I think about this, the more I think maybe... because of the way that things are set up here... Okay, well, we're immobilized. That's great. Because of the way things are set up here, I almost wonder if it's better to just sit still for 5 turns, get all your units together, and then do, like, a mortar carpet kind of thing. Just shoot one of them. Okay, great, cool. Let's see, if we move up to a place where we can shoot these guys now, it's too late. It's already too late. The units that can shoot that helicopter... I mean, having lost the Bradley as the first Bradley as early as we did is pretty devastating. Yeah, we might just be completely doomed already. It doesn't take much, man. Losing a tank, like, it puts you behind by, even on a mission where your numbers are even to theirs, your numbers are equal to theirs. Losing a tank puts you behind by so much because you are always the aggressor and they always have a stationary position they can shoot you from with superior weaponry, because all weapons are superior when stationary. If we played way back, we just let all of our units come in. We had mortar units with the Bradleys, like, just in front of them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we would break this. It doesn't seem doable. Because we need to kill their mortar teams in order to be able to apply infantry at all. I mean, it's infantry are worthless. The infantry are still worthless. It really is. It is going to come down to just tanks and Bradleys, probably. Because the second you try to integrate infantry into your strategy, you have a whole host of other problems that have to be solved. And solving those problems reduces the amount of armor you have, and reducing the amount of armor you have makes you lose. So yeah, I think that's probably where we're coming down on this. I'm gonna call it here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I think the strategy probably is, in fact, 6 tanks and a small amount of anti-air support. And we just have to deploy our units a little bit differently and roll better. Or the enemy has to roll worse. So come back next time, tomorrow. I'm going to experiment with this a little bit, and then we're going to figure this out. And we'll see you then.